Hello, this is Matthew Robert Payne, and I just want to do the next chapter of this book. We want to look at people who are favored by the Lord, and we want to have a look at people who possibly can be saved from the apocalypse, who can live through the judgments that are coming, the many deaths that are coming. What can separate a person and make them set apart and make them in a position where they'll be saved? There's a psalm of David that signals out certain people, it singles out certain people, and I think that it is applicable in this circumstance, and I thought I would share it. It's Psalm 24, and it goes, who may ascend into the hill of the Lord, who may stand in his holy place. That's like Moses ascending on the mount, being able to go into the presence of the Lord, having the ability to approach the Lord in his holy place. And it goes on to say, he who has clean hands and a pure heart, he who has not lifted up his soul to an idol, nor sworn deceitfully, he shall receive blessing from the Lord and righteousness from God of his salvation. So let's have a look at what David is saying here. He who has clean hands and a pure heart. Remember that David was not allowed to build the temple because he had blood on his hands. And we could see that someone with clean hands is someone who's innocent, someone who has innocence all about them. So someone with clean hands is someone not beholden to sin, and someone who has right motives. And it also says, and a pure heart. And I sense in my travels that a pure heart is someone wholly devoted to God. It says in Matthew, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And David sinned against Bathsheba, but I still believe he had a pure heart, a heart that was set on pleasing God. And I believe David had a pure heart too. So if you're a person who has vanquished sin and has a pure heart devoted to God, well then you would qualify to be a person that the Lord would look out for in the tribulation, in the apocalypse. It also qualifies here, who has not lifted up his soul to an idol. We in modern society, we don't have wooden idols that we carve and bow down to. But it's very interesting that the paper that makes money is wooden, and we bow down to money. So many of us are motivated by financial gain. So many of us have a motive of money, and we become idolatrous. And so this is similar to the church of Laodicea. It says in Laodicea, because you're lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I'll vomit you out of my mouth, because you say, I'm rich, I've become wealthy, and have need of nothing, and do not know that you're wretched, miserable, poor, blind, and naked. So these people who have idols in their heart can be possibly people who worship money, who strive towards money. And people don't necessarily worship money. It's not as though they put money on a pedestal and bow down and worship it, but their whole life revolves around money, and they consider it important, and consider their own material success important. And this is something that is a qualification here. You have to have not lifted your hands, lifted your soul up to an idol. And that's what qualifies you to be this person. So being a person with clean hands, being a person who's not sinning, who has a heart devoted to God and only to God, who doesn't deal deceptively with money, is not lifted up to money and any other idols. Donald Trump, when he was in, he became an idol to the people. The people treated him as an idol, and I believe that's why he wasn't elected the second term, because God got jealous of him as an idol. So you can have an idol in many things. You can have an idol in sports. You can have an idol in money. You can have an idol in superstars and people you look up to. You don't want to have any idols in your life. And the third point is nor has sworn deceitfully. Your yes has to be yes, and your no has to be no. It's imperative that you don't make a testimony that's not true. So many people like to gossip and say things that aren't necessarily true about other people. If you've got a habit of gossiping and speaking about other people, you wouldn't qualify for this. Your tongue would have to be righteous, and you'd have to keep your mouth in check in order to be this person. So these are people who can ascend onto the holy hill of the Lord, and these are people that can stand in the holy place, and they become special people that God may set apart to not to suffer the consequences of the tribulation. And we're going to look at other people who travel on the narrow road. We're going to have a look at people who obey the commands of Jesus and know his parables and walk in his parables. We're going to have a look at people who've an intimacy with God and other qualifications. We're going to have a look at other secrets to avoiding the apocalypse. But I thought I'd start with this Psalm of David to help you understand what sort of person God is going to set apart. So I hope that you understand this and benefit from listening to this, and God bless.